Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis session based on a strategy and the emotional resources necessary to escape the life of corporate slavery or drudgery. And I use that obviously facetiously, but there are many people out there that are feeling trapped at some level in a job that if things were different, they wouldn't want to stay there. And one of the key metrics normally to evaluate and elicit if you're working from a place of passion and purpose or necessity is to answer the question, if you won the lottery, several million, would you continue to go to work? And there are certain people that would say yes to that, and I'm one of them. I became financially free in my 20s. I don't have to do what I'm doing. I don't have to be a hypnotist, but I choose to because I find it stimulating. I'm learning. It's fulfilling for me, and it's very enjoyable. I like it. But not everyone feels that way. And I've certainly had jobs and kind of sources of income that I was doing it for the money, not necessarily doing it for any other emotional return on investment. And this client was one of them. They were working in a corporate company where they were learning a lot to begin with. And part of the rationale that they were in this company is to learn how to launch and grow their own business. But they were 18 months into this corporate company and certain promises hadn't been kept, and there was a feeling of, what if I never leave? And they couldn't leave straight away because they needed the income from the corporate job to pay the bills and to have their current standard of living, which is why in this hypnosis session you're going to hear a metaphor of a river that can't be crossed, and on the other side of the river it represents this kind of more desirable future, and then a bridge that gets them from where they are to where they want to be. And the bridge is a good analogy in this context because she couldn't just quit and then start the self-employed business because she would run out of cash. So it's about laying the foundation to make the transition from one to the other. And I think it's a sensible strategy for a lot of people. When I was 23, I set up my own business. I quit my job, had 6 months worth of savings. And although people said that was a courageous thing to do, in hindsight, it really wasn't, because at the age of 23, with no children, no dependents, no mortgage, you could fail spectacularly, learn a lot, and still start again, still get another job. So it's not that risky. I'm a big, I'm super impressed by people that become entrepreneurs in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, because at that age, there's more riding on the decision. So in this case, it was about getting her to have clarity of the vision, but really be strategic in terms of how she would make the transition from what she was currently doing to the desirable thing. And that's where the bridge and the other side really is helpful. If you can relate to this, if you feel like life isn't where you want it to be currently, and it doesn't have to be career, it could be a relationship, it could be where you're living in the world, it could be many different things. But if there's some element that you don't like about your life right now, and you can't simply make one decision and make it something else, it takes time and planning and preparation, then I think this hypnosis session will help. If you feel like you need something more bespoke, you can click the link in the show notes, schedule a free 30-minute consultation call to explore working with me. But you might find, whether you're in corporate world or not, this session is quite helpful. So find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of tension or stress to feel like it's leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in that wonderful feeling of relaxation, and as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to completely relax. And as they close, focus your attention on the sound of my voice. And the more that you focus your attention on my voice, the better able you are to release the tension in your body. And there may be tension in your jaw, your forehead. There may be tension in your neck or your shoulders. But I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine an ancient monastery next to a wide, fast-flowing river. Imagine what it would be like to be in a grand hall of that monastery. And I want you to imagine not just one or two, but many large bowls, perhaps made of brightly colored metals, being struck and chimed, or perhaps vibrated on the inside to create a sound bath of wonderful frequencies designed to help you relax. And you could imagine resting, lying down, sitting, meditating in this hall of the monastery, allowing the frequencies to wash over you. And what if those frequencies, through time and testing, were noticed to release tension and have that tension leave your body? But also, what if the frequencies activated mirror neurons inside your mind to promote a wonderful feeling of deep relaxation? Imagine how good it would feel to just feel so deeply relaxed there in that monastery. I'll count down from 5 to 1, and I want you to imagine your logical, conscious mind will become frozen in time there in that monastery, bathing in frequencies, and your unconscious mind will travel 5, deeper and deeper relaxed. 4, the sound of the music releasing all tension. 3, feeling loose and light, limp and heavy. The contradictions creating a wonderful feeling of confusion that relaxes you even deeper. 2, feeling it's okay to let go, particularly of tension around your eyes, tension in your jaw. But it's also okay to let go of all of these things you feel like you should have been doing. You should be further. should have done more. All of these shoulds can be released because you are where you are now. You can't change the past, but you can certainly learn from it. And I wonder how good it would feel to learn from these wonderful experiences to enable you to have the clarity as to what it makes sense for you to do now. 2 and then 1, feel the conscious mind frozen in time, and imagine your unconscious mind is now outside the monastery, still hearing the wonderful frequencies, but now you can also pay attention to the large, fast-flowing river. I want you to open your mind to the idea that you are where you are now, but where you are now doesn't have to be where you will be. And I want you to imagine looking across the river and seeing a different version of you. Happy, focused, energetic, filled with passion and enthusiasm. That version of you on the other side of the river isn't working in some corporate job. They are working for themselves to have an impact on the world, to do something of their own creation. And I want you to get close to the riverbank and see that you can't swim across this river. It's flowing too fast. You can't jump across. The river is too wide. I want you to get a feeling that you need to build a bridge across the river. But I want you to accept the suggestion that everything you need to build the bridge is on your side of the river. There is wood, tools, rope. Everything you need to build this wooden bridge over the river is there with you. And for a while, you've been thinking, I need to learn how to build a bridge. I need to learn how to use tools. But what if, throughout your whole life, you've learned more than you thought you needed to know? And right now, learning more isn't what's necessary. Now what's necessary is taking the steps to actually build the bridge. And perhaps by building the bridge, you get to figure out the remaining things you still do need to learn. But better to learn them while you're building the bridge than falling into the delusion that you need to know everything before you can magically teleport to the other side of the river. As you reject the fallacy of teleportation and accept the idea of building a bridge to the other side, you start to feel relief. Because the moment you make the decision to cross the river, you are freeing yourself from all of the distractions, all of the pressures and expectations of doing well on your side of the river. And you already know it to be true. You can't be on both sides of the river at exactly the same time. It will reach a time where you have to make a choice to stay on your side or to cross over. And building a bridge doesn't mean you're obligated to cross over. It just gives you the option to cross over. And as you imagine that bridge being built, a bridge can travel both ways. Once you've built the bridge to the other side, you can always choose to walk back over. But what if you were enjoying the other side of the river so much, just because you could walk over the bridge doesn't mean you will or would even want to? I want you to imagine you're seeing the bridge being built, and open your mind to powerful suggestions that could take your life in the direction to get to the other side quicker. Imagine yourself at the edge of the riverbank at the beginning of the bridge, knowing this is a bridge to a vibrant future filled with the excitement of your own business venture. Your side of the river is corporate life. The other side of the river is living life on your terms, financially, creatively, strategically. Feel a surge of motivation coursing through your veins, encouraging you to build the bridge and take that first step across the bridge. And as you take that very first step, feel that you are a resilient and unwavering force, ready to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. This is a bridge that you're building, and therefore, that dangerous, fast-moving river beneath you, it requires boundless self-belief, knowing that you possess the inner strength, the knowledge, the resilience to succeed when you get to the other side. Perhaps you can imagine a passionate fire within you. And every time you think about the other side of the river or think about the bridge, that fire burns even brighter, burning brightly with enthusiasm for your entrepreneurial journey. Recognize that every step you take forward toward your business goals, it fills you with a sense of purpose, passion, and excitement, meeting a need that was there all along, which explains why you've been feeling so flat and empty in the corporate world. And what you learn in the corporate world helps you build the bridge to your own future, each and every day bringing you closer to financial independence, but also creative independence. Feel a deep connection to your vision of success as you see yourself, the future version of you on the other side, allowing it to fuel your determination and drive. I want you to imagine what it would be like to negotiate with your current employer to reduce your hours or days, giving you the time to build your bridge. And in that time that you buy, imagine yourself fully immersed in your business, dedicating your time, energy, enthusiasm, and passion to its growth and success. That doing that charges your batteries, whereas perhaps the corporate world is draining your batteries. And you can see each challenge as an opportunity to learn and grow, knowing that setbacks are a natural part of the entrepreneurial journey. And that self-doubt of the past, imagine transforming it day by day into unshakable confidence, propelling you forward with unwavering belief in your abilities. And every time you work on the bridge or think about getting to the other side, feel the feeling of being on fire with passion, igniting your entrepreneurial spirit, but also maybe inspiring others that look down on you in the past but now see you're capable of doing great things. The broken promises of the past Make your fire burn even more brightly. Any business journey is a path of self-discovery, where you uncover your true potential, but also the weaknesses you get to work on, and see that future on the other side of the river, where you're financially independent, pursuing your passions, and thriving in your own business. And scan your body for where enthusiasm is increasing, that seeing that future fires you up inside. And imagine now the bridge is built, and maybe it was in a few months' time or maybe longer, but feel a sense of joy and fulfillment as you take step by step across the finished bridge. Each step you take fires you up with a feeling of passion, enthusiasm, and purpose. And imagine your foot finally touches down on the other side of the river. And imagine that time has passed and you've been building your business, your enterprise for several years. You make the decisions. You create the products. You work on the campaigns. You grow this flourishing business. And imagine the impact on the world it would have. And then imagine now you're on the other side, walking to the riverbank and looking at that flat, empty, frustrated, earlier version of you. And you could always cross the bridge back if you desire. But why would you go back if you found something more fulfilling? And if your unconscious mind is now determined to do whatever it takes to build the bridge and cross the river, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. Feel that the decision itself is activating the law of momentum, that thoughts become things, and knowing that this is what you want will give you the resources to do it. And as you find yourself in the future thinking about everything you've achieved, you realize that the journey prepares you for the destination, that you needed all of that experience, you needed to have the frustrations of working in corporate life to really value this new life that you've created. There is only one reason to now cross the river, and it isn't to go back to corporate life. It's to go back to your conscious mind. So cross back over the bridge into the monastery and see a version of you frozen in time, bathing in sound and frequencies. But you now, with all of these resources, beliefs, enthusiasm, and passion, are going to step into that frozen version of you, awakening them, so that the conscious and the unconscious mind are working together with incredible, powerful resources. And if you feel a combination of enthusiasm and self-belief, a do whatever it takes mentality, knowing that this will fire you up inside to get to where you need to get to, let me know by nodding your head. Amplify that feeling and take it with you into the present, into your body right now, accepting that all of this are just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, and it's the resources, the vision, the self-belief that is needed. Feel that inside you right now. As I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken with clarity, excitement, with a new game plan as to how you will build your bridge, and more importantly, do whatever it takes to get to the other side. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.